TikTok. Whoops. We are there. Let me see here. I'm just adjusting everything here. So we are here live. Let me just make this adjustment here a little bit. There we go. I think that's good. I think we got it set up the way we want it. And we want to say good morning, everybody, all over the place, including on TikTok. 88.1 FM, Connecticut River Valley. I'm Commander Allian, host for over 20 years of WESU's radio show, Ashtar Command Radio. I'm also known as the Cosmic Eye. And we're going to have a great show today. Shows from 11:30 to 1 every Sunday morning on Pacifica affiliated radio, WESU. I want to let people know that we are having a pledge drive here, and this wonderful radio station, which is a station that's been around for a very long time, really long time. It started out as a small little station, and over the years has expanded to be what it is now, a global radio station. So we broadcast all over the world. We broadcast throughout the Connecticut River Valley to southeastern Mass. To southeastern Connecticut, and also eastern Long Island folks on the Long Island Sound. Hopefully you're not on a boat today in the Long Island Sound. You might be, but you might have a bigger boat to keep yourself covered from the rain, you know? So good morning, everybody. And I'm the man from Mars, Commander Allian. I came out of the closet many, many moons ago, many years ago. I'm a contactee since the 1960s. My first contact initially was in a cul-de-sac when I lived out on the island. And that was back when I was a kid, and went upstairs and saw a spaceship through my brother's window just hovering, and saw men, women, and children in a light blue, what I call light blue space outfit. Beautiful looking people, very positive, very loving. And the one thing I always remember what they said to me was, you're not from this planet. You're not from Earth. Even though you're born here, biologically you're not from this planet. It took me many years later when I became an adult to figure out, yeah, you know what? Now I remember where I'm from, you know? And I remembered that I was from Mars, and I know that Mars has about 10 to 15 million inhabitants on the planet. You know, NASA's not going to tell you this. Nobody that's focusing on the outer places beyond Earth are going to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you this because I remember it. You also know that I don't channel anything. I come very strongly about not channeling anything. I don't believe people should listen to 10,000 people channeling the same being, whatever it is, because they're all channeling a little bit of themselves. And a lot of the information, unfortunately, each year becomes, what happened? Where did it go? What all this stuff. Where is it, So I'm a realist. You might say I'm a cosmic truth teller. Well, I am. I'll tell you the cosmic truth. I won't look at websites for information. I really stay away from everything on the internet from another human being's perspective, because it's their perspective and their opinion and their agenda. Everything I do goes within me. Everything I've learned comes from within me. Everything I understand on a galactic level, I've learned over the years with my contact off planet. And I've had contact with a being called Kadaramanka since before the internet. So there was no internet when I started having contact. I didn't depend on Facebook or these social media sites with somebody channeling or an AI telling me what's going to happen next year. None of that. It all came naturally. It all came directly, And so I always tell people, stay away from channeling, stay away from anything that takes you away from growing within yourself. If you don't grow galactically within yourself, if you don't expand cosmically within yourself, then you're going to be depending on everything out there on the web to get you to understand how you can grow, when in fact, you have the abilities all within you, right? I never know what's going to come out of my mouth when I'm on the radio. That's probably a good thing. It's very spontaneous, very spontaneous. You see, I'm not going to read you somebody's channeled message on my radio show, on my TikTok show. Never, ever, ever. What I will do is tell you some things that are going to happen. We're going to go to a musical break in a minute. This is WESU FM. The views expressed here are not the views of WESU management or Wesleyan University, which is a beautiful campus, by the way. And we are in our fall-winter pledge drive. So we do this every year. We're not run by big corporations telling us to do what we have to do. The Department of Defense doesn't influence money into our station, so we have to be subservient to the Department of Defense. What I'm trying to tell you is we are a beautiful independent radio station that creates our own programs, that has the freedom to express, that has the freedom. It's like a tapestry of art. So when you're on the radio, it's like artwork. The painting is in the words. The painting is in how you present the music. The painting is in everything you do, right? I love radio because when I was not living on Earth, I was involved in intergalactic communications within the Ashtar Command. That was my job. Not a job like a paid job, because you have a thing called job. The word job here means you got to get paid for your job. We don't think about money off planet. So our mission work, or my job, so to speak, was intergalactic communications off planet. And I learned that on Earth you have tools for communicating, like radio, TV. Those are your communication tools. So I jumped right in to learn as much as I could about communications. And I love it. It allows me to present the information, right? And that information helps everybody else. So we're in a pledge drive right now, and because we're a non-corporate radio station, we don't have big companies funding us. Thank God we don't, because then we'd be controlled by the big monopoly companies telling us what we could do, how we can present it. You know, we don't have that problem. So we're trying to raise $25,000. Okay, and we right now have $5,000 that we've raised, I believe. And let's see here. So we're now needing to raise another $20,000. Now, if I can raise $20,000 in an hour and a half, I would. I don't think anything is impossible. There could be somebody who has lots of money out there in radio land who's saying, you know what, Commander, I'm a billionaire, but I support what you're doing. So if you are that person who's a billionaire and you have another $20,000, make your pledge to the Cosmic Eye right now, and we can end the pledge drive like in a second. $20,000, radio people, $20,000. If everybody pledges, and I know there's some very rich people out there that have money, make an unconditional pledge to WESU right now, and just say you're making the pledge in terms of the Cosmic Eye radio show. You can go on our website. We have some premiums. We have some cool t-shirts, new t-shirts, ESU t-shirts. You can go on WESUFM.org, go into the pledge area, look at some of the premiums we have. We have a couple of really beautiful premiums. So I encourage, for 20 years, people that have been listening to me for 20 years, I'm encouraging everybody right now to make a pledge. Now, obviously, I'm not going to make $20,000, but you know what? I never say never, because you never know, but I am trying to raise $200 in an hour and a half. So, we used to have people take the phone calls here. That's the way we used to do it. Now, there's no way of knowing until they get the pledges in from the show what the pledges are, which is okay. But I would like to raise $200 before the end of the show from people on the radio, people on the internet, people wherever you are. Make a pledge to WESU FM. If you don't have we take cards. If you don't have any plastic, you can download on the radio station website the app, the donation application. Send the money in as soon as you can when you have it. Send a check or a money order in. We'll take that too. So we really want people to support the efforts of the station. It's one of the oldest stations in the United States. And actually, not only that, to me, it's the most beautiful thing in the world, WESU. We have such a great staff. We have one full-time paid general manager who does all the work, and that's a lot of work. I just sometimes don't know how he does it, but he does. And we have a part-time program director that's paid for our programming, stuff that's recorded. We have tons of volunteers. We've got to have at least, off and on the air combined, probably over 100 volunteers. So we all give our time to the station. It's a station, I used to be on commercial rock radio, and I was on for 2 years, and then they canned the show because the owners at the time, who owned all these radio stations, a conglomerate, didn't like the topic we were talking about. So, then I spent my time looking for another radio station, and I found WESU. When I found WESU, it felt like real home. It felt like a place where I can take off my shoes, sit down and relax, and just really enjoy what I do, without having somebody on top of me saying, oh, we don't like that. We can't have you do that. It doesn't happen here. I won't allow it to happen here anyway, because the information we deal with is something you're not going to find on radio in Connecticut or New England on what we do. You're not. I encourage people also download TikTok and also watch my show at night called Encounters. Encounters is we sometimes take a break, but for the most part, you have to once in a while just to regain your energy. But we go on TikTok with a show called Encounters. It's a spiritual UFO talk show. And we encourage you to download TikTok. I don't care what you think about the app. Download it. It's not just a bunch of kids playing games, although there are those things on there. But there's a lot of good things on there. There's a lot of spiritual people on there. There's a lot of people that are trying to get the word out about things that are happening. My show brings it all together because I bring the cosmic spiritual understandings as a contactee on my show. And that's at 11 o'clock tonight. Also, I should mention, there's some things that are going to happen. And we have contact. I've said it before, and I'll say it for my radio listeners. My TikTok viewers here know it, but my radio listeners might not know it. And if you're just tuning in, we have initiated contact with people from the star system Sirius. And I've actually gotten the name. I had the name wrong, but the name of the being is Heideco with an H. Heideco. Heideca. I think it's Heideca maybe. And I had it written down. But I thought it was Godico, but it's Heideco. And also, another thing I'll mention briefly. We had a guest on the show the last Sunday, and we had the space being coming through the radio station through our telephone system. Our telephone system needs to be worked on a little bit because there's some problems with the quality of audio, and I'll be bringing that up at our station meeting tonight, where sometimes people sound muffled or whatever. You've listened and you've heard our listeners, and you say you can't hear them too well, or something happens. We'll try to get that rectified. But anyway, what I'm talking about is that we had the space being come through, and Al Robinson was here, and we recorded it on Studio B. We got all the audio recorded, which I hope was saved. We had mentioned it to the tech director. We emailed them after that to save the audio. Okay? So we've documented what's happening here. Now, my friend John Connors, who is a part of our show on Encounters, he's a genius. He's brilliant and a good friend. And we support him 1,000%, right? So he has created a device where we're able to translate the space being's language into English. So we're translating the space being's language into English, which is amazing. So as that translation is occurring, we're now able, and he's testing it out, and we've seen that it does work. So we'll be able to, when we're live with the star being on their ship, we'll be able to translate their language into English, okay? Into English. Yeah, that's coming soon. So many things are happening. My perspective of the universe has even changed even more so. There's nobody anywhere in the world, and I say this with a lot of love, there's nobody on YouTube, on Facebook, and even on TikTok or on radio that can say that they have initiated contact. Now, the one thing is, we know over the history of our planet, over the decades, there are contactees. So we're not the first. The contactees of the 50s and 60s physically went on board spaceships. They ran on board the spaceships. George Van Tassel, I'm going to throw some names out there to everybody. Read books by George Van Tassel, George Hunt Williamson, another one of the old contactees. There's a number of them that had contact directly in the deserts. The ships would land, and they'd take them on board the ships to wherever they took them, and they'd come back with a message. And if you look for the old contactee books, which are out of print, you might find some of them on Amazon, and you'll find them on ABE Books, which is a website where you can check for the old contactee books of the 1960s and 50s. And I have a great deal of books. I don't have all of them. I wish I did. Also, any books by Frankie Stranges. Frankie Stranges was a contactee with Valiant Thor. Valiant Thor and his, he had a brother and two sisters. They came from off planet, and there's a whole story about that. So Valiant Thor is another one. Frankie Stranges had communicated with Valiant Thor for many years. So we're not the first ones to make contact, but in this particular time frame, we are the first ones on social media in this current state of technology to communicate and be communicated with by space people from the constellation Sirius. We're the first ones. I know that for a fact. I'm not talking about channeling or someone sitting in the room channeling a being. I'm talking about direct voice contact through the technology communicating with us, and they communicated initially with static. Now let me explain something about static. There's different kinds of static. This particular type of static allowed the space being on their ship to communicate with me. They know of me. And I don't care if you don't believe the story or not. I really don't. I don't care at all. They've been trying to reach me for years, but I wasn't listening. Now, I thought I was tuned in. I really thought I got it tuned in here, when things started happening. I thought, I'm really tuned in now, aren't I? But I found out I wasn't totally listening. Because all these distractions on Earth, sometimes we don't listen, we're distracted. Come on, everybody, be honest. We get distracted a lot. We get distracted. But I was listening. And it all started with a song. Matter of fact, it did. Matter of fact, I'm going to go to a musical break here. We'll be right back. I am fired. I am so amped up here since this thing happened a few weeks ago. I am so laser focused that I don't care what anybody in the world thinks. I don't. I'm gonna go right through you. If you're a skeptic, I'm gonna go right through you. I'm just gonna do it. I don't care. You're gonna be on the side of the bench, and I'm gonna go straight through you to the top of the mountain. Now, when I say to the top of the mountain, I'm gonna go right up there. Nothing's gonna stop me. You know why? Because now I know. Now I understand. Now I get it. Now I really get it. They made the contact with me through music. I'm going to share the song on my next break. You're going to hear the song that initiated the contact with the space people from the constellation Sirius. I'm like I said, there's nothing, no government, no Air Force, no DOD, nothing is going to stop this. If anything, these people that have been trying to prevent contact for over 70 years, they must be afraid in their boots. They're going to be hiding in their bathrooms because they can't stop it. You see? The initiation of contact has begun. I'm not talking about people being abducted or whatever. We know these things are going to have gone on through the last couple of decades. I'm talking about contact with positive, spiritual beings of light. Positive, spiritual beings of light. Write that down. Positive, spiritual beings of light. Your perceptions of reality, what you think, what you've read on the internet, what you've found on other websites, fear-based stuff, throw it out the window. Throw it all out the window. Throw the whole thing out the window. Because what I'm telling you is some cosmic truth. We'll be right back. Let's see where we're going to go here. We are going to go here, and we'll be right back. And we're back with you, Cosmic Eye Radio. I'm your host, Commander Alion, on a Sunday morning, almost 12 noon. This is WESU Middletown. And we're with you till 1 p.m. Eastern. So welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome aboard this spaceship in Studio A. So as we are going to continue here about what's happening, we're going to play the song that started it all. So everything has a beginning, and this story has a beginning, as I was saying before the musical break. This story started with the Alexa app in my daughter's room, going on during a live broadcast on Encounters a few weeks ago. I said, what's going on here? I go into my daughter's room, the lights are out, salt lamp is on, the Alexa app is playing Billie Holiday. Out of nowhere, plays Billie Holiday. I'll never, ever forget that moment. It's like ingrained in my consciousness. And if you had the experience, you would never forget it either. It'd be something you'd be consistently thinking about. That's when it happened. Then, the next time we were live, static was coming through our TikTok broadcast. When the static started getting stronger, all of a sudden we started hearing voices. A voice. Like, yum, yum, yum. I can't really explain it. A voice. When that voice happened, there was an initiation of communications with space people. They were on a spaceship. They broke through the barrier of communications on whatever frequency TikTok uses. They came through. Okay? Everything I'm telling you is documented. I'm telling you a true story. They were speaking. They were responding to my questions. Then my friend John Connor went on AM frequencies, and we tuned into a frequency on AM radio, like your regular AM radio, 550 to 1710 or whatever it is. So we found the frequency where I was coming through his radio. Okay? I came through the radio. That was the frequency we were going to be connecting with the space beings on. Then they started communicating with us. And they were calling my name out. Alian, Alian. So what they have stated is, we did something nobody has done. All these people with the SETI satellites that are trying to make contact, trying to find life in the universe. It's so ridiculous. They don't understand. Everything's it's all on frequency, and maybe they have got information that they've covered up, possibly. I don't doubt that. But they made the initial contact with me. I was doing my regular thing. They made the contact. And again, what they had told me is they had been with me before. Now, I don't know when before is, because I have no idea from their perception of reality what that means. I've only been here on this planet since 1956. So when they say they've been with me before, I have to ask them, what does that mean? And I will. Our next contact with them, I'll ask them, when did you first meet me? Because I don't remember. I don't remember. I'm honest that way. But they initiated the contact because we broke a barrier. Our planet was going into a situation where there possibly could have been not a good outcome. Because of the contact and the mission being steadfast on it, they evidently been watching me for a lot of years, these light beings. And they're part of a larger grouping of galactic beings of light. They said because of what I've done, and I don't claim to have done anything other than do what I always do. I have no idea what I've done. Except they said whatever I did, it changed the outcome. That's what they were saying from their perspective, from their communications. So whatever it is I did, I don't know. I think we all have a part to do in it. I don't even know what it was that I did. Maybe that's probably good, All I know is I've been here to bust the matrix, to bust the illusion, to bust the lies on this planet. And the way to do that is to keep doing the mission work, not get distracted, right? So many distractions on this planet. Our planet's in pretty good shape, even though when you visually see things, it looks like things are falling apart. But in essence, this planet has a lot of hope. This planet is going into a different frequency. And you see, I use the word frequency again. This planet is going into a different vibrational pattern. It's really important that people understand this. As we go into a different vibrational pattern, our understanding and who we are changes. Many people who were on when the initial contacts happened on TikTok will tell you, if they had been consistently hearing the space being, that I'm sure their perceptions of reality have changed since that happened. I would even gather to say that they are more clear in who they are, that it activated something within them. I'm pretty sure it did. And it just changed the dynamics. Okay? And more things are going to happen. When Pacifica speaks to us from their spaceship, if you have a chance to listen to my Encounters show, I'm setting the date after I get off the radio, setting the date for contact. John Connors is in Arizona. I'm in Connecticut. We have learned something and we understand it. He is like a transmitter. He is like a human antenna. He's the transmitter. I am the receiver. He transmits the message from the space people that's coming. Well, he's a transmitter like an antenna. They're coming through the radio, and through the radio frequency on AM, we are now translating their message, their communications. So now we can have an interaction of questions and get answers. Questions and get answers. Questions and get answers, right? So in totality, there's going to be a time, and I think it's going to come soon. I don't know what that means, but I keep getting downloads about this. Commander, there's going to be a time soon when they're going to physically contact you. They're going to make contact. They're going to want to meet you. Now, I've been meditating on that too. So many things are changing in my consciousness and in your consciousness and in all consciousness, but I've been really, really meditating deeply about this. I want to make sure that when the contact happens, this physical contact, that I represent the best parts of who we are. I want to be the best loving person I can be, because that's the way I operate. I operate in the frequency of love. You see, when you operate in the frequency of love, nothing else matters, right? You get trapped in a 3D thing. We all do. You're driving on a highway, something cuts you off or whatever, but that only lasts for like a second or two. Then you're back to where you are before, right? Those are the little things. So I know contact's coming soon. As I said before on many of my programs, even on the radio, that contact will be an individual thing to start. People that are ready for that specific direct contact will have it. You might have it coming in your dream state first, where they meet you halfway through your dream state when you're sleeping. You might have it physically in your bed, in your living room, in your camper. It might happen in the mountains when you're hiking, when you're in a cabin somewhere. It doesn't matter where it is. If you are ready to have the contact, you're going to have the contact. You know that. People on the radio who are listening, you know that. People that are watching on my show on TikTok, you know that. I know you do. And if you meditate and ask yourself, am I going to eventually have contact? You know you are. If you're connecting, if you're focused with intention, if you know what you're doing, you're going to make the contact, right? No one can stop you. There's not one person, not one family member, not one friend, not one stranger that can stop you from having contact, because it's time. You see, the time is not 20,000 years from now, 100,000 years from now, 10 years from now. It's now. In this now moment that we're living in, it's now. And I can only tell you the cosmic truth. I can't make this stuff up. You know, I could make it up, but I don't. And you know, you can sense, if you have discernment, you've probably been through all the websites, heard all the stories and everyone's predictions, and then now you're hearing me. And I'm just like you. I'm just a part of you. You are a part of me. We are a part of each other. I'm not on any level better or worse. We're all in this together. That's what I keep trying to tell people. We're all in this together, every one of us, which is a beautiful thing. That's the whole essence of my radio show. That's the whole essence of my Encounter show, is that everybody comes together. No one's on any ego trip. No one's saying, I got the biggest ego and I've got it ready for you. No. There are people out there doing that, and it's a shame. It should be about the information. It should be about cosmic truth and understanding, and it should be on a frequency of love, always. If it's not, use your discernment. Understand it. Okay. Now, I got away from the Billie Holiday song. Wait a minute. I'm going to go to the Billie Holiday song here. I got so wrapped up in what I was doing. I want you to hear this song. I mean, I got really amped up to tell you this. You got to hear this. This song is going to tell you how everything started. So listen to this song from Billie Holiday. It came through the Alexa app a few weeks ago in my daughter's room when I was on live on the TikTok. And this is the song that was the beginning of them contacting us. Let me bring this up.
I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places that this heart of mine embraces all day through. In that small cafe, the park across the way, the children's carousel, the chestnut trees, the wishing well. I'll be seeing you in every lovely summer's day, in everything that's light and gay. I'll always think of you that way. I'll find you in the morning sun, and when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you. I'll be seeing you in every lovely summer's day, in everything that's light and gay. I'll always think of you that way. I'll find you in the morning sun, and when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you.
And that's the song that was coming over the Alexa app the night contact started. That's the song. So now you know. For those that didn't hear it, didn't know the full story, that is the song a few weeks ago on my Encounters show. When I was getting ready towards the end of the show, that happened. And then precedingly, as other broadcasts happened with our show, we had contact. And then with John Connors and I on certain radio frequencies, we initiated more contact and more contact. And it's only the beginning. What's happening is only the beginning. There's so much we need to learn about them, about their planet, about who they are, about how they live, about what's going to happen, what their feelings are. They're so excited. The last thing I heard from John is that they're very excited that this contact has happened. They are extremely excited about the initiation of communications. Okay? And I do feel soon we're going to, I'm not sure how this is going to work. I do believe that they want to meet John Connors and myself. I believe they want to make contact on a physical level. When I understand more of that, I am going to tell you. Again, this is the only part. I don't know how that's going to work. I know it's going to happen. I just don't know how it's going to work. Okay? So bear with me. Be patient. I'm just learning. This is all new to me, this part. But I know it's going to happen. I just feel it. Everything to me is a feeling. I go with everything in my system. It's a feeling. I don't go by thinking about it. If I think about it, that's my brain. I have always gone by my feelings. When I feel something's going to happen, I feel it. All of you know out there on radio and on here on TikTok or whatever, if you have a feeling, your feelings are pretty right on, right? When you feel something is going to happen, you actually understand, wow, that happened. Well, if you feel that, if you knew there was like somebody was going to do something, like you're driving in a car and someone's going to just come out and you say, I stopped because I felt they were going to do this. Your inner senses are right spot on. So when it comes to this specific understanding of galactic knowledge, your inner senses are right on. They're never wrong. Your brain can be confused. Your brain can come up with all these different ideas, but the brain isn't so important. It's the inner sense, the sensing within your own being that tells you what's going to happen. Your brain is always thinking, and it's like a computer. It's always thinking. That's what it does. That's what the human brain does. But your inner sense knows everything. All the time. Most 99% of the time, your inner sense knows everything. It does. You can't deny it. You can try to you could if you want to, but you really can't. Anything that I've ever seen happen is because I sensed it. Not because I thought about it. If I was thinking about it, I could be sitting for a whole hour thinking about whether something's going to happen. But when you sense something's going to happen, you know it, right? Yeah, ESP. Extrasensory perception. Everybody has it. And that when we sense things, it is ESP. We do have it. Every single person out there has it. Sometimes you don't recognize it or realize it, but you're right, we do. Universal consciousness, right. Once we realize the sensing of things, ESP, we sense it. Our brain thinks about things. It mulls over things. It slows us down. But when we operate in our sensory perception of reality, it's way different. Right? Totally different. Coming up to 15 minutes after the hour. And if you'd like to call in the station and share a cosmic story, please do. We're in our pledge drive right now at WESU. I always like to talk about ESU. I don't play any recordings. We have them. But I think the human touch is more better than the recordings. Why I support the station. I've been here for 20 years. And I'll hopefully be here for another 1,000. The thing is, I love this station because we don't have any corporations controlling us. We don't have commercials telling us what to do. We have the independence as a beautiful station to create. It's like a painting. We create that painting here at the station. Everybody does. Our musical people do, our poets, all the folks that make this station so beautiful. And what makes it more beautiful is all of you out there that instead of listening to the other side of the band, come here to find some beautiful tapestry of music, of talk, of whatever it is. Whatever that is that brings you here to WESU. We're glad you're here. Whatever it is that brings you to my radio show, and there's nothing like it. I don't care what part of the country you're in. There's nothing like this on AM or FM radio except Coast to Coast, which I still love Coast to Coast. But there's nothing like this. What I am doing, there's nothing like this. And we're not talking YouTubers having talk shows, and we're not talking whatever. I can't really put it into words. All I can tell you is what you get here is real cosmic truth. What you get here. So the station needs your support. I need your support for WESU. So if you never made a pledge to our station, we have some cool t-shirts that you can get for a donation. I think we have the tote bags and all that stuff as well. Go on WESUFM.org/pledge. Make a pledge on my show. I'm trying to raise $200 today at the radio station for WESU-FM, non-commercial, listener-supported, Pacifica-affiliated radio. So people on radio, internet, or whatever, however you're watching or listening, please make a pledge. If you don't have a credit card or a debit card, you can download our form and just fill it out, send a check or money order. Whatever you want to send, that's fine. But make a pledge today and help support this important institution on radio. A station that is one of the oldest FM stations in the United States. Oldest in the United States. I love this station. We have one paid general manager who works his butt off, and he does so many things. And then we have our part-time program director who does fantastic work for many years. And then we have hundreds of volunteers, and that's including on and off staff. We have a lot of people here because we love this station. I've been on paid radio, and I don't get paid for this. I do this because I love this station. I could have went on commercial radio after I got off the other station, but I said, nope, I don't care how much money they give me. I want to be on a station with integrity, that's honest, that's non-commercial, listener-supported, and not controlled by the military, the DOD, or anybody. And this station is a gem. This station is like a big crystal to me because we're able to have the freedom. We don't have somebody standing over saying, well, you talked about this the other day, and the Pentagon didn't like your comments, Commander Alion, so we're going to have to suspend your programming. That's not happening. That's not happening here. Not at this station. So I want to encourage people to participate, be motivated, and make a donation to WESUFM.org under the pledge form. It's online. Again, if you do have plastic, use it. We take all the major credit cards. If you don't have the plastic, download the form and send in the money when you can for this Christmas season. So for your Christmas holiday season, Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating, as you gift to your family and friends, make a gift to WESU. Get a t-shirt. They're really cool. I like the t-shirt. Let's definitely check out some of the premiums. And you're listening to WESU FM. It's 23 after 12, and we're having a good time here. I am so happy. But I'm always kind of happy, but I'm so happy. I don't care if it's raining out. I'm happy. It's raining out. It's not snowing out. We don't have a blizzard up here in New England. I'm happy. As long as I can go point A to point B and not get stuck in the snow, I'm good. I think we're going to have a warm winter in New England this year. I think we are. And it's really not raining too hard. It's like a light rain. I can handle that. If it gets foggy out, I can handle that up here in New England, this part of the world. I don't want any snow. I don't care. Maybe 2 or 3 inches of snow, maybe 1 or 2 storms for the winter, and then let's get to spring, right? Hopefully. If you don't live in New England, folks, we're going to be hopefully real lucky this year. The snow's up to the northern New England, central New England. They're getting snow. Let it stay up there. The radio station link is WESUFM.org. WESUFM.org. Go to the link for the radio station. Press the pledge area. You'll see all the, yes, that's it. You'll see all the opportunities to get a t-shirt and a few other things. I think we have tote bags. People on my TikTok stream are asking me questions regarding that. So yeah, go to that and you'll be able to make your donations. Either download the form if you don't have a card, if you don't use credit cards, download the form and send a check or money order. We certainly accept that. And like I said, each Sunday my goal is to raise for the station $200. I think that's a doable goal with all my listeners, combining radio and internet and so forth. If everybody jumps in there, and some people say, I'm going to make a pledge someday. I'm going to get there. I'm going to dial that phone number and push those buttons and make a pledge for WESU. And then, I've been there. I've been the procrastinator when I've listened to radio over the years that I like. And so, oh yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm really going to do it. Just do it. Don't think about doing it. Help this station out. Make a donation, folks. All right. We're going to go into some more cosmic sounds here. And we're going to amp it up here in just a moment. What I want to do is, as we amp it up here, whoops, what am I doing here? Let's just do this here. We're going to go to this particular realm. Let's see if it does that, what I want. Nope. We're going to go to another thing here. And we're going to amp it up a little bit here. And we're going to let you hear this and see where it goes. Let me see, hopefully. I'm going to bring this up right now. just had the weirdest thing just happen here. The clock just fell down. That's been on the wall above me. The clock just fell down. Okay. The clock, this clock, we have a clock on the wall. I'm going to show you this for a second here. We have a clock. Well, you can't see it here. Wait a minute. We have a clock on the wall above me. There's no clock there now. The clock that was on the wall as I'm playing this music just fell down. Oh, man. You know, I'm like here. Now, I'm not saying that's anything. I think it was the vibration in the studio of the music. So the clock just falls down. No time. Now, I don't know what to think. Whoops. I don't know what to think about that. I'm not sure what to think about that. It could be just, I had the music turned up so loud in the studio with the speaker that I think it just made the clock fall off the thing. That was pretty weird. Now, I've had the music up before like that. The clock has never fallen off the wall. Never. So maybe I shouldn't read into it too much. Maybe I should not read into it too much. Yes, everything was shaking in the studio just now. I can't make this stuff up. The clock, this is the clock right here. Just to show you, this is the clock that fell off right now. The clock. I got a call coming in here. I think somebody wants to come on the air. This is the clock that just fell off. Everything's recorded. And I got a call. We'll be right back. Hold on, folks. WESU Cosmic High Radio. Good afternoon. Hey, how you doing, brother? It just, the whole studio was shaking when that happened. That is pretty. Yeah. Either that or the space beings are trying to get my attention again in the studio. Oh, yeah, I've been thinking about you guys constantly. I'm sorry I haven't been in touch. You know? Okay. I mean, you could if you want to. Yeah, I definitely do. All right, let me put you on hold for a minute. So I've got to let me just bring. I'm gonna bring my. So this clock here, just to let you know what you heard when everything was shaking. This clock goes on the wall. This clock fell off the wall. This clock right here, it just fell off. Now I've done this show, and that clock's been up there forever. You know, that clock is pretty solid. It was I have one of those like plastic pins to hold it, and it was solid. That clock was there. Every show I've done, that clock has never ever fallen off the wall, ever. Okay. Very good question. No, the arms are still moving. Here, the arms of the clock are still moving. They better be moving. Yeah, they're still moving. So the clock's arms are still moving. But I'm telling you, things are crazy. That never, ever happens. Never. So what's that all about? The clock just falls off the ceiling. I mean, not the ceiling, but the wall in front of me. above the glass window to Studio B. What's that all about? Now, I can let my mind wander, and it could do that very easily, folks. I can let my mind wander and say, what's that all about? Part of me says, the space people want me to, they're getting my attention. That's the first part. The other part is, it could honestly be that the music was so loud, it vibrated the wall and the clock fell off. But how could that possibly be? Because the clock has always been on the wall, and I've always turned up the volume to the max so people on my TikTok broadcast can hear everything. So how could that possibly be? You know? I'll be pondering that for a little bit. And I'm not able to reach up to put the clock back up there. But I'll make a mention of it tonight at our station meeting. So, yeah. Subtle messages, maybe. Clock falls off. No more time. I have a guest coming on, my dear friend Greg, and I'm going to put him on right now. So we're going to have a live interview with my friend Greg. He's also in our C5 Ashtar group in Connecticut here, and I've been friends with him for a long, long time. A dear friend of the show, just a friend. So we're going to put him on here, and let me just do this. Bring the volume up. Okay, I think you're on the air. Are you there? Good afternoon.
Yeah, so I think I discussed with you a little bit before I got on the air here what the clock may represent. But, so that's my thoughts on that. But, so what I wanted to say first is I'd like to donate $20 to the show, and hope that gets something started here and some more money comes in before the end of the show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, by the way, and we appreciate that.
No problem. And we're really appreciative of your show. It's one of the few, if not the only show like it, like you said earlier, in the country. We need more of them. So what I wanted to mention to you, that I was listening to a new episode of a show called The Unexplained, and it was it's called Strange Technology, and it aired on 12/1. And what came on in the middle of the show, about halfway through, was a live discussion, and it was Dr. James Lakatsky. He's a newest Pentagon whistleblower to come forward. He's a former head of a Pentagon advanced weapons program. And he says that the DOD is harboring an actual alien craft. Mark D'Antonio, who represents MUFON as one of their experts, he discusses what the new physics that this kind of ship has for dimensional travel. And I thought I would just pass that along to you and all your listeners. And it's Dr. James Lakatsky. It's L-A-C-A-T-S-K-I. So if they want to look him up, they can probably find out more about it.
Yeah, I think that's important. I didn't, because it seems like there's more people in the Pentagon starting to say I've had it with being told I can't say anything, and they're now coming out and speaking. Isn't that kind of interesting in a good way?
The doors have opened now.
And I think there are forces within all these agencies. There's the other half that don't want this stuff to come out. They want to keep everything secret for another 70 years. But I think the cat's out of the bottle, and I don't think there's any way that anyone can stop what's going to happen here.
Friends up there, whether they're from Sirius or Arcturus, that have our interests in their hearts, are making this happen now, because we're at a critical point with the evolution of this planet, and we either move forward and upward, or we fall off a cliff here. And I think they want to see us succeed. And then part of your contact, I think, has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, I firmly, I'm still learning. This whole contact thing that I'm having is new to me in this particular fashion, through frequency. I'm still learning. Whatever I learn, I'm sharing here on my show and on my TikTok broadcast Encounters at Night. I'm sharing everything I know. It's not just for me, it's for other people. They want other people to know what I know that I learned from them. And I have a lot to learn from these space beings from the constellation Sirius, which means that I've been feeling, and my friend John Connors and I have talked about it, that they want to meet us. I think they want to physically meet us. I am totally open to it. I'm not afraid. I have no fear. No fear at all. The fear would be from the mind concept of our mind. The mind can create the fear, but in truth, there's nothing to fear. We've lived on a planet where all we've seen is what we know, each other. We've seen each other. We know what we look like. So we're used to what we look like. It's comfortable to say, regardless of the color of a person's skin, this is what we look like. Now, I don't know physically what they completely look like. I don't, honestly. But I'm not going to be afraid to meet them. Isn't that the whole point? That these light beings, however they look, it doesn't matter. It's the consciousness. If the consciousness is one of spiritual love, I don't care if they're just a brilliant form of light. They're an intelligent society of people that might be slightly different than us, and that's okay. I'm not here to judge anybody in the universe. I know if they operate in a higher frequency vibrational pattern, that's fine. I've never had contact with any intelligence that isn't of a frequency of love. I'm well protected. You know that.
Yeah, my feelings on all this and the experiences I've had and contacts that I've had personally, we're moving out of fear-based vibration, like you were mentioning, moving into a higher vibrational experience, that we're now moving into a love-based experience. And without that happening, they will not make full contact with us.
Right. And that's exactly right. And when the Billie Holiday song, which I played it for a reason, because I wanted people to know the true story of how this thing happened with the space beings and myself that night.
The song, I listened to the words, and I've heard that song before, and it really was appropriate for a way of getting that message out to you that they've been watching you all this time.
Yes.
And they feel that you're now ready, I think, for this face-to-face contact.
Yes, and I've always never told anybody that for many years in my adult life, since I met my friend Ashtar Athena in California, who had known almost every contactee from Giant Rock. She knew most of them, or all of them. Tuella and all these people, George Van Tassel, all these people in historical information, they had physical contact with what beings would say they were Venusian. Now, maybe they came from another planet. Maybe they were Venusian. Maybe they weren't Venusian.
That was another one.
George Adamski, yeah. My friend, the Dr. Frankie Stranges, who I interviewed.
Yeah.
And Frankie Stranges, before he died, was on my show, was over 11 or 12 years ago, I think it was. Or whatever.
You got him on the show. I have the book that you had recommended, and I recommend if anyone can get a copy of that or download it, that they read that book, because it's a valuable read.
Yeah, it really is. All his books are, if you can get them. You can get them on ABE Books or even on Amazon. Look for books by Frankie Stranges. Look for books on George Van Tassel. These are some of the people. These are some of the people that were directly having contacts and going on spaceships.
Right. I don't have all his books. I just have that one you had recommended, and I was pretty much blown away by the story. Now he was a Pentagon clergy, I think, right?
Yeah, Pentagon clergy, and he one day, for whatever it happened when he went to Washington, he met George. He actually met Frankie Strange's met Valiant Thor, and then Valiant Thor proceeded to communicate with him regularly when he was in Las Vegas. Valiant Thor Victor 1, their spaceship, was cloaked in Lake Mead.
So is the thought that Valiant Thor is still at Lake Mead?
I'm not sure if he's at Lake Mead, but the Valiant Thor and his grouping of space people, they're still here. I don't know exactly if they're still Lake Mead. They could be. I don't know after Frankie Strange's passed of whether they stayed there or whether they moved on. I don't know. But they were there for all the years with Frankie Strange's. He would go out, they'd take him in a car and out towards Lake Mead, and he'd go on board their spaceship.
Right. Yeah, that's an amazing story, and you have to take it as being the truth. I mean, why would somebody in his position, take the time and effort and bring his position, what he did at the Pentagon, into question and have people laugh at him?
Yeah.
And then write this book. It doesn't make sense that somebody would take the time to do that with somebody his caliber of character.
No, he was a very honest, straight person in terms of everything he did. Everything he shared was information that Valiant Thor and the Venusians gave him. And he was one of the more well-known contactees. Like I said, he'd been to the Pentagon, Frankie Strange's. Valiant Thor met with high-level officials in our government back in the time period when he was visiting the Earth. And when they created their base at Lake Mead, nobody can actually know they were there. They cloaked their spaceship. No one ever knew they were there except for Frankie Strange's. Unless you were sensitive, you would never know at Lake Mead there was actually a space base at Lake Mead. Now today, Lake Mead, part of it is dried up because of the drought, and other parts are very low on water. But Lake Mead is where they had their base, the Venusians, the Valiant Thor, and the Victor 1.
Yeah, that's an amazing story, and I hope it's continuing today, that they have our interests at heart and are continuing to work on our behalf. It sure looks like it's going in that direction from all the events that are happening now.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of which, there's so much happening. For those of you who are listening or watching our show here, download TikTok. I implore you, no matter what people think about the TikTok, even if you're not a social app person, just for the sake of watching me on tonight, download it. You don't have to have 1,000 followers to watch. Just download it and go to Commander Allion 2022. You'll be able to watch my show. You can see all the great videos of spaceships that have come to me. You can see also anything that we're going to be doing as a live event. You'll be able to see it on my TikTok channel. So I implore you to do this. Get over whatever you think about TikTok, get over it. Whatever you've heard on the media, get over it. Because the media lies. The big networks don't want you to know things. So get over it. Download the TikTok app, my radio friends, and watch my show tonight at 11 p.m. We're on most nights at 11 with Encounters, and you'll love the show. It's a good show. I encourage people to do that. And also, I encourage you all to do what Greg is doing. Make a pledge, make a donation to this wonderful, non-commercial, listener-supported radio station that I know Craig's been listening to the show. We've been friends for years. And I encourage you to be friends of the show, to be friends of WESU, to make a donation. Take your time. Get on your computer. Get on the WESUFM.org website. Get a t-shirt or a tote bag. Make a pledge. You can do it by card, or you can download the form and send in a check or money order for those that don't believe in using plastic. That's cool too. It's all cool.
WESU and the Commander Show by making a pledge. I'll throw that out there as a listener, and hope that you all follow suit. And Commander, it's been great speaking with you, and I'll be in touch with you privately, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, brother. Good to see you again. Have a beautiful day. Okay, we're going to, and Courtney, we want to thank you, Courtney. We appreciate you, Courtney. Thank you so much on TikTok. Sending Courtney some blessings out there. We really appreciate everybody all over the world. You can't understand how much I appreciate you for everything. Our radio listeners, my TikTok viewers. But you'll have a blast. If you don't have TikTok, watch my show. I had some technical problems. I share my show on YouTube, my Ashtar Command Spaceship News. You can see all of our TikTok broadcasts. I was having a few days where I was not able to download on TikTok the stuff to YouTube, but it seems to be working now. I had to do some workings on my phone. I'm bringing it into a place called the Phone Shaman where I live, and I'm gonna make sure he checks it out. I think I had used up a lot of memory. That slowed everything down, so I thought I did everything right, but I'm gonna make sure. So every show that I do on Encounters, my Sunday morning shows will all be on TikTok, will all be on YouTube. So this show will be on YouTube and all my shows. This way, if you miss a show, you can get to watch it, recorded. We're coming up to 12:51 already. That's incredible, man. We're just running out of time here. Wait a minute. We're running out of time. And I was going to play some other things here, but it looks like we're not going to do that. Let's see here. We're going to play some more music. So we're not going to do that. We're going to wind down the show here. Coming up at 1 is women's music, singers and songwriters with Karen. She's coming up at 1 o'clock. Don't miss it. We're in the midst of our pledge drive for our fall winter pledge drive. I want to thank everybody for making their pledges. Whoever you are, Greg, thank you, and anyone else who went on the website. Do it today. Support non-corporate, listener-supported, Pacifica-affiliated WESU FM. All right, everybody, we're going to wind it down. It's at 12:52. We're going to get some cosmic things going here. Coming up next is Karen with the women's songwriters, some great music. And I love you all. I'll still be on TikTok here in Studio B. So take care, everybody. Hello, Karen. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Say hello to my TikTok audience.
Hi, TikTok audience.
This is Karen.
Hi there.
She does a great show on women who are songwriters, singers, and songwriters. It'll be coming on at 1 o'clock here in the United States. So tune in and listen to her.
Yeah.
And she's also going to raise money for the station, too.
That's right. Like he said. Thanks.
Nice seeing you. Okay. Okay, I'm here for a little bit here. I'm in Studio B. Turn the light on? No, why not? Now let's turn the light off here.
Knock, knock.
Knock, knock.
I just need one of these folding tables.
Okay, go ahead. And we're here with you still in Studio B at the after show of Cosmic Eye Radio. And we want to get in here and say hello to everybody. So, hello everybody. Man, good to see you. I got my tea going here. Hey Chesno, everybody out there. Now I can see you all in focus. 1AT has communication systems called Focus Dot. Infinity, peace, and blessings to you. You know, I gotta send my love out to every individual, new and old, to the show. All our new listeners, our new followers, new viewers, I think. Had a great show last night. I think I'm able to download my TikTok shows. They download now, but for a few days I was having trouble. And just to make sure, I'm going to my, there's a phone store in Wallingford where I met this guy. He's from Brazil, I think, and we started talking about spaceships. And he had these Brazilian, I don't know if they were magazines or they were about UFOs. So talk about synchronicity. This guy, I meet him, and he understood everything I was talking about. It's pretty crazy. One universal love and light to you. I want to thank also everyone for gifting me. I was so focused on the radio. If I didn't get a chance to thank you, thank you. I saw all the gifts coming across the screen. Thank you. I appreciate it. When you're doing radio, sometimes I'm trying to watch you, multitask, and, so I'm doing a lot of different things in the studio. Hey, Stella Bella, many blessings to you. Sanjay, welcome. Judy, thank you for the roses. I appreciate that so much. Thank you, mainly Seven. I want people to subscribe to my TikTok too. I don't mention that enough. Also, I have a Venmo on TikTok here. On my main account, on Commander Alian 2022, there's a link to my Venmo. How many of you have Venmo? If you have Venmo, do you have a Venmo app? Anybody? How many people use Venmo? I do. A lot of people do. If you have Venmo, I know some people have PayPal. Thank you, Bud Force, for that. If you have Venmo, consider making a direct donation through my Venmo. On that, I'm asking for $5, $10, or $15, which isn't a lot. It is a lot if you don't have any money. Don't worry about it. If you're totally broke, don't even worry about it. But for those that have some abundance to spare, go on my Venmo today before I get off, or any time, and make a donation of $5. So if everyone does a $5 donation to the Venmo, or 10 or 15, whatever you want to do it, and we certainly appreciate it. Everything has a reason. My TikTok subscribers area is for the night vision equipment. So we're going to build that up to enough so we can get like 1 or 2 pieces of night vision equipment for our C5 group here, and that'll be used collectively for that. So become a subscriber. If you're not if you're not a subscriber, go on my main. You'll see the thing that says subscribe. You'll see a thing pop up on TikTok. On my broadcast says subscribe. Become a subscriber. Take a leap. Take a jump. And when I first started TikTok, I thought I was going to do like a morning kind of daytime thing. But you know what? The universe tells you where you're going to be. And I ended up doing nighttime, broadcasts with encounters. My whole plan was to do it during the day, but it didn't work out that way. I guess it wasn't supposed to happen that way. But I found out that there are a lot of people all over the world on TikTok that are on at 11 p.m. at night in whatever time zone they're in. So, you know what? I'm happy where I am. I love being on at 11 o'clock at night. Now, sometimes you'll get me on at 10:30 in the evening, or maybe 10. That's unusual. But at 11 o'clock at night, yes, the commander is on. And we'll be on tonight. We'll be on tonight for sure. Kevin, thanks for the J and the hearts. The song, the total of the planet, the lightning. Thank you so much. You know, this is what I love about the tribe here. This tribe of viewers on our show is beautiful. You're the most beautiful people. Because you know the truth. You know when you're watching something, whether it's real or not real. That's the same thing with me. I scan TikTok when I'm not on it, on my own thing. I scan on, sometimes I'm laughing about all the garbage that's out there. You know, I'm like, what the heck is this? But, and then the worst part of it is, which kind of funny, someone is sitting on a couch, just sitting on a couch. There's no light bulbs going on or anything. Sitting on a couch, and 2,000 people are watching them snore on the couch. Now, maybe I'm missing something on this planet. Maybe I'm missing something on Earth. Maybe I'm missing something about social media. Maybe I don't understand. So if I were to fall asleep on my show, and not wake up, does that mean 1,000 people are going to watch me sitting there falling asleep and thinking that's the best show ever? Hope not. I hope not. And I hope never to do that. Not to you folks. Thank you, Johnny Miller. And I hope your family is doing well. Hey, Lori. So I'm chilling out now because I've been on the radio. You know, people think when you're on the radio, you're just chilling out there. There's a lot of things. There's controls, things to do. And then when the clock fell down off the wall, that jolted me a little bit. Thank God the clock didn't fall on my head. It fell down, but not on my head, so that was good. It fell against the window from near Studio B here, right behind the control board. I picked it back up. I am not putting that clock back up. I'm going to have somebody else do it, because that would mean climbing up on the table near the control board, and it's not happening. It's not going to happen. Maybe, hey, Stella, maybe. No, I think it was a ghost. I didn't feel that energy. I think there's a message with the clock falling down. I think I just think it's a message like, no time. Really, I think that's the message. No time. The clock falls down. Now, the clock in this studio is up because I'm not vibrating. I think there's two things I'm thinking. Technically, I had it so loud, the vibration knocked the clock off. Now, that could be possible too. So, you know, I have no idea. I don't want to say it was, ET related. Could have been just simply the clock got loose from the plastic pin and fell off. That seems a more logical explanation, right? Letting us know time has no existence. Yes. Lori, I agree with you. I think it was like, good thing that clock didn't hit me in the head. So I was going to say, if the clock hit me in the head, it was going to hit me in the head to make sense that time does not exist. But luckily, the clock did not have to hit me in the head for me to know that. It really could be anything. Well, folks, I'm going to head out of here, head back to my New England town, chill out for a little bit. I want to say I love you all. Alex, thanks for coming in here, Alex. Alfred, welcome to Encounters. Chesno, we'll hopefully see you tonight. And Grace and everybody, pass the word on. Things are happening. And I'll probably be in touch with John Connors by phone before I leave the studio, because things are happening. All right, everybody. Peace, love, and light to you. Thanks for watching Cosmic Eye Radio, and we'll catch you tonight. Thanks for all the gifts, everybody, by the way. Jody Lynn, take care. Lori Garreau, take care. Ladybug, bye, Stella. Blessings, Johnny Miller. Blessings, Courtney. Karen, Kim, everybody out there. If I don't say your name, it's not because I don't see. Hey, Kevin, thank you for the last gift there. You know what? If anyone wants to shoot me over a galaxy or some weird thing that takes over the screen, and you have the TikTok coins, do it. I'll take one more big gift before we go. Whoever wants to do it. It has to be unconditional, though. I'm awaiting. I'm drinking my tea and awaiting. Who's going to be the happy camper? Who's going to be the one doing it? Aroha, thank you for the roses, Aroha. Hey, Kevin, thank you for the lightning bolts. And there's going to be one person out there that's holding back for a moment. Hey, Big Hosan. Hey, Tokyo. Good to have you with us, brother. Good to have you with us from Japan. Japan is also a place where there's a lot of spaceship sightings. So we are glad to have our friend in Japan with us. Am I following you? Let me make sure we're following you. Oh, yeah, we're following you. Yep. Very, very. Film director and karate master. Very nice. Ohashu Gasanamyu. I think that means, I don't know what that means in English, but I think it means thanks. Oh, thanks. Okay. Well, you're very welcome. Thank you. Eroha, thank you. Thank you so much for the paper crane. You waited a moment for him to come on. Yes. Hey, Michelle. Hey, everybody. I'm going to get out of here. I'd love to talk to you all day. I know there's some TikTokers that stay on for 4 hours. I'm saying, my God, I think I would be thrown out of my house if that happened. Thank God I know when to come on and do my show. Hey, Tom. Cody. Hey, Cody. All the new people, tune in tonight. JFK. Good to see you, JFK. Been a while. RC79. Mystic Warrior. Thanks for the likes. I'm going to get myself out of here. We'll catch you later, folks. This has been Hey DH. And we're going to get out of here. Lisa, take care, everybody. This has been the radio show, Cosmic Eye Radio in Studio B. We'll see you tonight on Encounters.